All right, now that maple season has started and we've began tapping our trees and hanging our buckets, let's move on to step number 2, which is storing our sap. And the biggest question everyone will have is, how long does sap last? Well, that depends, and it depends on the temperature. Now, obviously you want to store your sap in a food grade container, and you want to have it stay cold, at least primarily 40 degrees or colder. For the hobbyists like myself and many others, we boil on the weekends, so 7 days is typically what we give as a expiration. So 7 days from Saturday to Saturday, we'll collect, we'll store it in a cooler temperature so that it's ready to go the following weekend and cook it down. Sap will let you know when it's starting to spoil. The first sign is it'll start getting cloudy, and that cloudiness is just an indication that it is going bad. Now, a little bit of cloudiness is okay. If you can't see through it, that's when you know it's spoiled. Another indication, it may have a smell to it, and it may have some discoloration to it. Don't overthink it. If you notice your sap having maybe a slight off color but not cloudy, you can still boil that. It may just be a little cloudy by itself. You can still boil that. But if it's very cloudy, or if it's a very rich yellowish color, or it has a smell, you don't want to boil that. Now, storing it, if you don't have a fridge, or if you have a large amount or a large quantity of sap, you're going to need an area to keep it cold. For us, we don't have a garage or a outdoor area where we can just store snow and keep it cold, so we store all of our sap on the north side of our house. It is solid frozen right now, and we continue to pile up snow alongside the wall on the outside of the house, so that when we have sap that we transfer from maybe this container into 5-gallon pails or another container that we have, it'll stay cold, especially at night, at least at 32 degrees or colder, and so that it's ready to go within a week. Some other things to consider is how you store your sap, or how you obtain your sap from your buckets from your trees. There's different methods. First year we collected it transferring from buckets to 5-gallon pails and then storing it on the side of the house. Once you start getting into larger operations, you're going to need a larger container to hold it. There's lots of different options out there. You can find used water type of containers to store it temporarily, or you can buy containers. Now, this is a food grade rated water container. It's 20 gallons. So as I'm running through the woods, I'm able to just dump the sap into here, and then transfer it into 5-gallon pails if I need to, with this valve. Another thing to keep in mind is your first line of filtration is going to start when you first transfer your sap into a secondary container. For us here, when we are transferring, we use just a standard paint strainer, and this will get any of those solids that might be in the buckets from the trees. You'll get fruit flies or bugs that'll be hanging out in your sap, and I will at least try to filter it out. You might even have twigs or a spider or two if they're running around. You just throw it on your container and then just screw it on. And the nice thing is this has a secondary opening, so I can pour the sap into here. It'll get strained through, and at least it'll be the first level of filtration. Obviously there's a lot more different type of filtration that you're gonna be doing before it becomes actual syrup, but the strainer is really nice because it gets any of the bugs and everything out of here, and at least keeps it clean. So that's about it for storage. 5-gallon pails is the option if you have not that many trees to worry about. If you have a larger operation, you're going to need some larger containers. We have a 20-gallon and we have a 35-gallon that we transfer while we are boiling. If you're much bigger, you'll probably have a reverse osmosis system to where you get most of that water out and just the sugar content. But if you're kind of in between the beginning stages and not quite to that stage, having storage containers that are food grade or water jug containers is the perfect option for that. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always continuing to try and educate myself and get better at this each year. So I'm happy to help anybody. And if there's things that worked for you, share them in the comments below. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button.